In Philippians 1, Paul's writing this letter from prison. He says this in verse 12, I want you to know, brothers, that what has happened to me, speaking of his imprisonment, has really served to advance the gospel, because it has been known throughout the whole imperial guard, all, the Roman soldiers and all the prison inmates as well, and to all the rest that my imprisonment is for Christ. And most of the brothers, having become more confident in the Lord by my imprisonment, are much more bold to speak the word of God without fear. And so what this means is Paul saying, you know what? I want you to know that this setback is actually advancing the gospel. That even though I'm in prison, I'm not able to travel, I'm not able to preach like the way I usually do. Guess what? Even though I'm in prison, the gospel's being advanced. Because while I'm in prison, guess what's happening, guys? The entire Roman guard knows that I'm here because of Christ. So I have a testimony here in prison. And guess what? A lot of the brothers are becoming more confident because they're seeing that I'm holding strong. I'm holding fast to God in suffering. So it's actually enabling weaker believers to grow in their boldness without fear, speaking without fear. And so Paul says, you know what? This setback is actually a setup for the glory of God. This thing that seems like a distraction, a deviation from my plan, is actually leading in God's sovereign timing to actually advancing the gospel. So I just want to encourage you. You might have had a plan, you might have had a direction, you might have had something that you thought was going to happen, but guess what? There was a fork in the road. There was a switch. Something happened you didn't expect. But guess what? If you hold fast to God in that, God can use that situation and even advance the gospel in the midst of suffering, advance the gospel in the midst of a course correction. So keep on preaching, keep on sharing, keep on shining, no matter what happens in your life, even if it's not what you expect.